Good morning again. Hey, today I'm going to read to you out of Acts chapter 21, 37 through 22, verse 2. As I read through it earlier, it's an amazing, amazing chapter. When the 7 days at their purification were nearly up, some Jews from around Ephesus spotted him in the temple. By the way, Jews are very religious. At once they turned the place upside down. They grabbed Paul, started yelling at the top of their lungs, "Help, you Israelites, help! This is the man who is going all over the world telling lies against us and our religion and this place. He's even brought Greeks in here and defiled this holy place." What had happened was that they had seen Paul and Trophimus, the Ephesian Greek, walking around in the city and had assumed that he had just also taken him in there to show him the temple. Soon the whole city was in an uproar, people running from everywhere to the temple to get in on the action. They grabbed Paul, dragged him outside, and locked the temple gates so he couldn't get back in. As they were trying to kill him, word came to the captain of the guard, a riot. The whole city's boiling over. He acted swiftly. His soldiers and centurions ran to the scene at once. As soon as the mob saw the captain and his soldiers, they quit beating Paul. The captain came up and put Paul under arrest. His first order was handcuffs, and then he asked him what he had done. All he got from the crowd were shouts, one yelling this, another that. It was impossible to tell one word from another in the mob hysteria. So the captain ordered the Paul taken to the military barracks, but when they got to the temple steps, the mob became so violent that the soldiers had to carry Paul. As they carried him away, the crowd followed, shouting, "Kill him, kill him." When they got to the barracks and were about to go in, Paul said to the captain, "Can I say something to you?" He answered, "Oh, I didn't know you spoke Greek. I thought you were the Egyptian who long ago started a riot here and they hid out in the desert with his 4,000 thugs." Paul said, "No, I'm a Jew, born in Tarsus, and I'm a citizen. I'm one of them, still of the influential city. A simple request, let me speak to the crowd." Standing in the barrack steps, Paul turned and held his arms up. A hush fell over the crowd as Paul began to speak. He spoke in Hebrew. This really touches me because here's a guy that these guys are trying to kill. He's one of their own, as if it's one of America's, and they're trying to kill him because of what he's doing for Christ. And here he's sharing the message, and they're trying to get him out of there, and the Romans are trying to get him to jail to protect him because that's what their job was to do. And yet here he is. All he wants to do is he wants to speak to the crowd to tell them about Jesus, even though they've turned their back on him. Again, guys, this is the life that we have chosen. We've chosen to be children of God. And here we are in the midst of being children of God. And this thing is we run from telling our friends, yet we know they're going to refuse the message. We know in Matthew 5, it says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for greater your rewards in heaven." We know all that, and yet we are fearful. And here Paul, all he can think about is these people are going to hell. In the midst of me dying, in the midst of them killing me, I have to give them the message. And at the end, he stood before them. He spoke in their language again. Again, I think you're hearing a key here. He spoke in their language. He spoke Hebrew to them. And in the midst of speaking Hebrew to them, he shared the gospel. Guys, that's what God's asking us to do. Think about your friends. You may speak English, but the English that you're speaking, the language you're speaking, they don't comprehend. So we've got to share the gospel in a way that they understand, because your friends are weighing the balance. The people you love the most are weighing the balance. Today, I'd just ask you to text me back or videotape, share your story on the app and then send it to me, just that I know that you heard the message today, found what God had to say to you through it. God bless you.